Welcome to my 10,000 subscriber special, and I only have you guys to thank for this, so thank you so much for supporting me through all of these years. And today I've decided to celebrate this momentous occasion by talking about one of my favorite video game consoles. And you guys may know that the first console I personally owned was a Nintendo 64. It's not the console we're going to be talking about today. My favorite video game console is actually the PlayStation 2. Look at that sexy beast. Now, the reason for this is because I had a next door neighbor, like many of us do. And he was my best friend. We hung out all the time, and every weekend he would rent 2 games for a full week, one being a solo game and the other being a co-op game. So I have many fond memories of playing the PlayStation 2 with my friend and having so much fun just randomly screwing around in co-op games. So I decided to make a top 20 list of my favorite PlayStation 2 games, and this list has to be the hardest thing I've ever done on this channel. Picking just 20 PlayStation 2 games out of all of the games that I know was very difficult. So let's get this list on the roll, and if a game that I like is on this list that you hate, I'm sorry. Number 20.
Let's go.
Barbarian is a game I have never been able to find after playing it with my friend for 1 week, and I would love to get my hands on it, which would be easy since it's like $4 on Amazon, but I never buy anything online, so I'm kinda screwed in that aspect. The game was an arena-style fighting game developed by the now-closed company Sapphire, who were mostly well-known for porting games to the Game Boy Advance. Remember some of your favorite Game Boy Advance games like Lego Bionicle, The Hobbit, or Around the World in 80 Days? Me either. Who could forget those classics? But overall, this game was just a huge time killer for me and my friend. From throwing each other through all the breakable scenery or launching each other into different stages just to see what would happen. And the game also features a handful of fighters, plenty of weapons to skewer your friends with, and up to 8-player battles. The game wasn't amazing, but I still remember all the fun times I had playing it with my friend. Plus, the loading screen was like 2 skulls that floated around, and each player can control one, so we kinda played tag with them. Yeah, we were really cool. Number 19.
Let's go.
Let me get this out of the way right off the bat. 187 Ride or Die is in no way a good game, but I still have come to love it for so many different reasons. But only the multiplayer. This is another one of those multiplayer games I played all the time with my friend. But this one is a gangsta game where you drive for your life and try to kill the head honcho of the enemy gang, known only as Cortez. When playing cooperatively, one player takes control of driving while the other gets to shoot at all the other enemies while trying to blow them up and help you win the race, making for some awesome teamwork-based moments, especially in the more intense races. And for whoever's seen my top 10 hardest bosses video, you know that I believe this game has the hardest boss ever. So if you think you're up for a challenge, grab a friend and try to beat this game, because trust me, you and your friend will have a blast shooting gangsters. Number 18.
Let's go.
Now that we've got the not that great racing game out of the way, let's talk about one of my favorite racing games, Midnight Club 2. I played the crap out of this game when I was younger and loved every second of it. The characters are all memorable and interesting, and the racing just feels so right. From pulling wheelies to 180-degree spins, it's just one of the most intense arcade racers I have played. Especially with the built-in free roam and cheat codes you can use. Wanna fly off a ramp at 1,000,000 miles an hour, do some flips, then shoot rockets and machine guns at other cars? This is the game for you, because the cheats let you do all of that. Plus, being able to play in 3 different cities with tons of cars is always awesome. Number 17.
Let's go.
Onimusha 3 is a game that I remember my friend playing all of the time when we were younger, but I could never remember the name of it. The only things I could remember was a French guy, a sewer, and a random building in France. And with just that information, I ended up finding the game and buying it. Onimusha 3, for those who don't know, is a game developed by Capcom, following Japanese samurai Hidemitsu Akechi on his quest to stop Nobunaga Oda from taking over Japan. But in the 3rd game, we get a bit of a scenario change. This game uses time travel to bring our samurai warrior to the present time in France. But for those who were fans of the original series in their old Japanese setting, don't worry, because we meet a new character based on and voiced by French actor Jean Reno, and he switches places with Hidemitsu and heads to the past. I would have loved to put this game higher on the list, but I really haven't even had the chance to play it past the first couple of levels. And I really think that after I played a bit more, this game will definitely move up on my list for sure. Number 16!
Let's go.
ATV Offroad Fury 2. If any of you know this game, then you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. This game has to be the most fun I've had in any free roam racing game. I haven't even touched the story or main races at all in this game. I would just pop it in and me and my friends would have hours of fun on the free roam mode. From having all my friends driving out of bounds at the same time to see who can fly the farthest across the map, or exploring every nook and cranny and finding any secrets you possibly can. Or going to Arlington Stream and just having endless hours of fun running into the front of the train or driving on the train itself in the level. There really isn't too much I can say about this game other than free roam with friends and driving on a train is awesome. Number 15.
Let's go.
Dynasty Warriors 4 is the end-all, be-all when it comes to Dynasty Warriors games for me. I feel like this was the last game where they really stopped trying to improve and just kept putting out the same thing with better graphics. So this is currently my favorite Dynasty Warriors game until I play Hyrule Warriors. So it was obvious for me that this game had to be on this list. This is another one of those games I would play with my friend for countless hours. And since he owned the game, he would always be a higher level than me and kill more people than me, which always sucked. But I dealt with it because it was a fun time. Seriously, who cannot love slashing through hordes of thousands of enemies, killing anything in your path with special moves and awesome weapons? Number 14!
Let's go.
As someone who loves rhythm games, a few of them were obviously going to make this list. And this particular one is really outstanding. And if I could only play it just a little bit more, it would definitely be higher on this list. The game I'm currently talking about is Rez. Rez is a game I've only been able to experience a little bit, but I've thoroughly enjoyed from what I've played. The game is designed by some of the original team who designed the Panzer Dragoon series, and the game is heavily based around electronic music and has a very interesting game mechanic for a rhythm game. As you fly through the air and shoot targets, the hits you make with enemies causes different sound effects to be heard which match the beat of the song. But the coolest part is that the better you do while traveling through these levels, the harder the final area in each level will be. The game was designed this way to help casual players still enjoy the game, and also introduce some form of replayability besides the bonus modes you unlock after finishing the game. I do know there was an HD version released for the Xbox 360, but I haven't had the money or chance to purchase it, and I would really like to find a copy of the game for the PlayStation 2, though I know it is one of the harder games to find on the system. So until I can get my hands on it and really play through it and enjoy it, it'll probably stay lower on my list. Number 13!
Let's go.
There comes a time in every system's life where it gets that hilarious game that's somehow also just amazing, but somehow gets overlooked by every single person who owns the console. That game for the PlayStation 2 is The Bard's Tale. The Bard's Tale features some of the funniest humor I've had the pleasure of hearing from any video game, with some great combat and story added on top just to make it even better. The game also features a choice system allowing you to be snarky or nice, which usually changes the outcome of a situation. The game also has its fair share of musical numbers that I can still remember to this day. Beer, 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 tiddly beer, beer, beer. A long time ago, way back in history, where all there was to drink was nothing but cups of tea. Along came a man by the name of Charlie Mops, and he invented a wonderful drink and he made it out of hops. As you can tell, the game knows exactly what it's trying to be and makes fun of its genre and many others in multiple ways. Plus, combat is fluent and ever evolving. The start of the game is a bit slow, but once you get past the first hour, you'll start to fall in love with this game. Trust me, I did, so you should too. Number 12.
Let's go.
Big buff dudes fighting half naked. I can't do it. I can't. It was really hard for me to pick which Dragon Ball Z game I would put on this list, and I knew for sure it wouldn't have been any of the Tenkaichi games, and I wasn't a fan of the second Budokai game, so it was between the first and third game, and eventually I decided on Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I was a huge fan of the original, but the third game just improved on everything in the game so much. From the story mode to the tournaments and adding even more characters, it was just awesome in so many ways. Being able to play characters from not just Dragon Ball Z but also Dragon Ball and GT was a welcome addition to the trilogy. And I know many of you are wondering why I picked the original trilogy over Tenkaichi, and I for one just didn't enjoy the change for the combat system. I know all my friends loved it, but I just really enjoyed the 2D style more than the 3D style of gameplay that the Tenkaichi series brought. Number 11.
Let's go.
Here we are at number 1. Kind of put them together, because it's 11, but it's actually kind of 1, because this is 2 parts, and this is the number 1 pick of part 2. You get what I'm saying? And what could possibly be number 11? Well, this is the part where I usually tell you to just be quiet and wait, and I'll tell you, but you know what? I feel like being nice today. So I'm gonna tell you to be awesome, and that you're awesome, and you should keep being awesome. Using the word awesome too much, aren't I? Whatever. Here it is, number 11! When I was younger, I never got to play the Jak and Daxter series or the Sly Cooper series, and I still really haven't except for the first game of both series. And Sly Cooper definitely stuck out to me as an awesome game that I can't wait to play the next 2 of. But for now, I have to say that this game was outstanding. A great amount of challenge and fun was brought with some really interesting characters that I instantly fell in love with. I can really see why people instantly fell in love with this series with how much love was put into it and how new of an idea it was. Yes, Metal Gear Solid was already a thing, but this was the first time I can think of where a stealth-based game was used for more of a childish vibe than a mature vibe, and it was definitely welcome, and I can't wait to play Sly Cooper 2 and 3. I would just like to thank all of you guys for helping support me to 10,000 1,000 subscribers. I still can't believe it when I say it. It's amazing. Thank you all so much. And while you're here, make sure to stick around and check out the top 10 PS2 games next week. Or if it's out right now, click right here. But if not, wait until Friday and check that out, because there'll be a lot more games that you probably recognize on that list, since this one was kind of games that I felt like no one would really know about. But who knows, maybe you know them all. Maybe you're some crazy PS2 guy like me. But until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.